Getting started, finding the right template. There's a few ways that you can find the right template, but we recommend working on Google Docs. So how you're going to do that is by going to Google Docs. That can be accessed by going to docs.google.com or clicking on your Google Drive button and going to the Docs. Then you're going to go and you should see all of your recent documents below. You're going to expand Template Gallery and you can scroll down until you find the resume templates. You have quite a few options to choose from, but for this tutorial, we recommend working with serif. Once you find the right resume, you want to make sure that you title it correctly, which is going to be your first and last name, whatever that is, _ resume 2020. That way we know and you know that this is your most recent resume. So, a few tips for getting started. Regardless of what template you choose to use, these tips are general tips that you should always keep in mind when building your resume. The first is to list your experiences chronologically with your most recent experiences at the top. If we look at this example of Amy Anderson's resume, we can see that her most recent experience is at the top of her list. The second thing you want to keep in mind is using the same verb tenses while you're creating your resume. The bullet point sections for Jackie Gold, the high school student, you'll see that they used all past tense verbs, meaning that all of their verbs ended in ed. You do not want to switch your verb tenses around so that you're using ed verbs with ing verbs, which is present tense. And last but not least, we know that you have a lot to fit into your resume, as you can see from the different examples that I'm showing you, but it needs to all fit on one page. And so those are your really general tips for resume writing and getting started. All right, the next section of this video is going to go over the different resume sections. And these are the different sections that make up your entire resume and should be a part of every resume that you write. But your resume is your first impression to your potential employer and a chance to market yourself. So each section needs to be built out differently. The first section of the resume that we're going to discuss is the heading. The heading section is the top part of your resume and could be considered the most important because it's literally your contact information. This is your introduction and should include your name, any relevant contact information, including an email, a phone number, and an address. Some industries suggest that you have professional profiles and websites such as LinkedIn, or your own professional portfolio website or tech portfolio website like GitHub. The objective is the next section of the resume that we're going to talk about and is highlighted on the screen. The objective is a part of many professional templates, but not all. Its purpose is to state your purpose. Why do you want to work in the career field you've chosen? It can briefly review or state any previous educational or professional experiences that showcase why you are a strong candidate. It should also discuss your purpose or motivation or even your drive for going into this career field. And lastly, it can explain any professional goals you might have. And up until this point in your life, your main job has probably been as a student. So this is where you're really going to showcase all that you have done. On the template that we've recommended, the serif template, the education section is actually down here under the experience section. Though in some resumes, especially resumes for young people who may not have the same work experience, education generally is at the top. And if you are a college student, you only need to list your college experiences. If you are a high school student, you only need to list your high school experiences. Some things you will want to list in the education portion of your resume is the school and its location, the anticipated year of graduation, and any clubs or organizations you are a part of. Similarly to college applications, jobs want to look for well-rounded people who are active community members. So by showing that Ash Ketchum is the president of the Pokey Club and the captain of the Pikachu Prowlers, this shows to the employers that he is well-rounded, he is a go-getter, and he has strong leadership skills. Your experiences are assets and translate to employers as skills and knowledge. So you want to list the ones that make it look like you have a ton of skills and knowledge. Lastly, for the education section, if your GPA is above a 3.0, you should list it on your resume. The next section of your resume is the experience section, which is highlighted on your screen. This section is going to be the bulk of your resume. It should list any experiences that showcase any professional skills you have. This means that you do not need to list only jobs, but you can also list volunteer experiences, programs you're a part of, teams that you have leadership positions on, and any opportunity that showcases your ability to be a great professional in that field. As always, you want to list your experiences chronologically with the most recent experiences at the top. In addition, you want to be somewhat selective with what you decide to list. If you are applying for a job in the tech industry, your experiences babysitting may not showcase the professional skills that employers are looking for. In this section, you need to list the company or organization's name, its location, your role at the organization, the time period in which you work there, and a bullet point list of all your job duties. When writing about the job duties, this is where you'll want to make sure you're writing in the same verb tense and describing your job duties in ways that highlight the skills you took away from those experiences. On this document, which can be found in the Google Drive, you'll see that we have created examples for how you can write your experience at Csto. You should start with this and model all of your other work experiences based off of our recommended formatting. Skills is the next section of any resume. And in this section, you want to highlight specific industry skills that may make you a competitive candidate. So this should list any kind of skills that show why you're a great employee, like independent, motivated, strong work ethic. But you also want to list any specialized technology skills, such as working in Adobe Photoshop, Microsoft Office series, Google Suite. In addition to skills, you might have a few other sections on your resume, and that might include awards, where you can list any great awards that you have received, such as perfect attendance. In addition to listing out any valuable skills, a resume may also have a section for awards. You also can learn. This is where you could list things like perfect attendance or any other achievable award you've won. In addition, if you are bilingual, you want to list that on your resume, as language skill is extremely valuable in diverse marketplaces. Lastly, you want to show any projects or accomplishments that you have completed that show your professional skill set. For example, if you have done any kind of professional development, training, or any kind of work accomplishment like Employee of the Month, that would be a great place to put it. Wow, if you've made it this far, great job. That means that you have gone through all of the resume sections and should be doing pretty good in terms of writing your own resume or understanding what you need to write when you actually sit down to do it. So once you're finished with your resume, make sure you check out Csto's resume checklist. This checklist will not only help you keep your resume professional, but also exciting and original. I just want to make sure that our resume is the very best, the best there ever was. So in making it that, you always want to make it theirs. Be sure to consider your employer when creating your resume, meaning that you want to use specific buzzwords that your potential employer may be looking for. Include experiences and skills more relevant to this position. So make sure that you're being selective with your experiences, because all of them have gotten you to where you are today, but only some of them are going to get you to where you need to be tomorrow. Tailor your resume for the specific industry or position. Some suggest that you guys actually edit your resume for each position you apply to. You should always review your resume and make any minor changes you feel need to be made before submitting it to a job. And last but not least, always research the company before you apply so that you can incorporate their goals, values, and company mission into your resume and cover letters. But it's not their resume, it's your resume. So as much as you want to make it theirs, also make it yours. You want to make sure you leave your mark on the resume. So you can use colors, fonts, and any kind of formatting choices that feel personal to you. Just don't change the overall structure of the templates. List any important experiences towards the top, showing that they were meaningful and impactful to you, or you think that they're going to be relevant to you in this specific career field. Lastly, all of these experiences, all of these skills, everything that is on this resume is a little snapshot into who you are. They will not be able to see how amazing, awesome, cool, and what a great employee you are. So we need to make sure that your resume helps them see your value. And that starts with you seeing your value. So if you have made it through this video, make sure that you have reviewed our resume checklist, which you can click on and it will actually open when you click on this. And you submit it to the finished resume folders, which is also hyperlinked, and I'm going to show you. Then you're going to drop your resume into whichever folder or program you're a part of. And lastly, you're going to share it with whoever your direct supervisor is. Make sure to share it with their email